Welcome to the first video on this channel, Brick Built City. My name is Edward, and on this channel I'll be showing you everything I display at home to do with Lego, but also focus on the development of my Lego city Brickley. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you enjoy this first video. Welcome to Brickley. My city is in my hallway, and I'm going to start down the far end with the tour. The far end of the hallway here has my least developed area of the city, but down the bottom shelf we have the modulars in place that I do like, and that is Shopping Street, Downtown Diner, and the Detective's Office, which is actually one of my favourite modular buildings. The street is condensed and packed, kind of goes into nowhere, including up the wall there, but I may do something with that in the future. Up the top, we just have a collection of random sets, but I do want to put that set somewhere in the future. And this is a Chinese restaurant mock, which was out a few years ago. That is definitely going to stay in one of these two corners in the future. And this is a space for more modulars to be placed, including a mock that I've been wanting to do for many years, but we'll see whether or when that gets put into place. But it's definitely room where the next modulars will go for a few more years. And if we come round to this side, this is the central town area I've called, mainly because it has crossroads, which kind of again leads into nowhere. And we have a mock here of a supermarket with a post office and a chemist up top. I'm probably going to change that in the future, just because there's room for it to go in another part of the city, which I will show you. But for the back here is a more pavement area behind Assembly Square, with different things going on here, just to add some more detail to the city. And here is my mock office block, the tallest building in the city, so it does really tower above everything else. And if I come and show you around the side here, you can see the front side of it. Assembly Squares here, which is my favourite modular building. Out front you've got bus stops, which I've created, and I've reduced how many vehicles I've had on the roads, just because when I had lots of them it looked so busy, and it just, well, it looked too busy. And then so having actually less vehicles on the roads, even though there are more vehicles here, just makes it look like the roads and the areas can breathe a little bit. I've recently put the brick bank here, swapped it with the corner garage, and I do like it here, but what I don't like is the fact that this road goes into the wall, and it just doesn't look good to me at all, especially when I'm doing things like photography or photographs here, and actually videos like this where it just looks a bit, yeah, not good. But I think what I'm going to do in the future is actually pedestrianize this road so that there's like stalls there, and so it looks more like a place where minifigures actually hang out in between the Brick Bank and the Palace Cinema. But I do want to keep the parked area there for vehicles of people attending the Palace Cinema. Here we have a hospital, which is small, so I do want to expand it to the area here, which is what this space is for. But that's already a work in progress. And of course, background here is the Grand Emporium, which has got some new features inside. There's escalators to go up to each floor, which for those you know, it doesn't have escalators that go on every floor. Well, two escalators on each floor, but now there is. If we go around to this side, you can see the top level where the tram bridge is, and there is a platform there. The tram is not motorized, this just gives the impression that there is a whole system of trams going around this city. And what you do get is different levels within that thin area, with a flat there. There's an Asian restaurant on this floor, and there's an alleyway that goes right the way through, if you can see through. And this is more detail added to this alleyway recently. Then we have a Lego store mock, combining a set which was out by Lego years ago of a small Lego store, which I've just got multiple of, and I've just built a whole store. And this is the area for that mock over there, which I'm probably going to change up and place here in the future. And we also got the jazz club here, with an extra section added on, well, that side, to get it up to a higher level, or the same level as the left hand side of this building. This building here is actually my mock of the Friends sets, so Central Perk and the apartments, and it's a bit annoying to be here because I redid this area just recently, and this was the best place or the best building for it to go here, but now you can't see the front, and it's basically impossible to see the front, which was annoying. But I figured out a way to get around that, and that's simply by swapping these two areas around every so often so that I can see the front of this, and I'll just have that bit facing that way. And I think that's a decent enough compromise, because I'd rather not put this building somewhere else and have this area open, or both these buildings somewhere else and have this area open, because then I like having the buildings in the city as it is. But I think that's a good compromise. So here is what I mean by swapping the buildings around. So this is Central Perk down here with the two apartments, both with a balcony on them. And I think that's a pretty easy solution to having buildings there but not being visible. Just swap them around. It definitely fills up this area a lot more, especially if you come round. Yeah, it looks good. At least I think. This whole section here is actually what I displayed at Bricktastic in 2026. And this area, or a version of it, was the area that I displayed at Bricktask in 2025. And this has just been changed recently. So we have boutique hotel with an extra floor added. I do want to get another one of these to add another floor for a restaurant in good time. And these two buildings here are actually the other way around. They're actually this way up till recently, but I made room right at the end where it's lower, and this enables the other side of the building here to be visible for the pavement, which I've been able to expand slightly. And you can see this building here, you can see the car park, or the car wash, the ice cream shop, which leads up to the Ferris wheel here. And this building here is actually the Sanctum Sanctorum, which came out a few years ago, and I've made it into a half modular. So now it has the supermarket, or a supermarket at the bottom. I've turned the first floor into, I think it's a bar. Second floor into a library space, library cafe space, and the top floor is actually a flat, an apartment, with someone building a set in there. And this may be familiar to some of you who've been to Bricktastic and seen this before. This now is where I've put the corner garage. And I think that looks really good, because when you're here, instead of it being cornered off with a building like it was with the brick bank, you can actually see more into the next road, which is good. And then you've got the police station next to the Natural History Museum, and this part here has been a bit of a pain to work with, because there's a power box there, and that's where I've been able to put the sign for Brickley in to cover that. But then whilst I've raised the tables here, it's kind of like knocked off some of these little spike bites which were on the top of the building in the middle. But I've just taken that off, and I've been able to work with the space a lot better than I originally did. And here we've got one of the latest additions, is the Bricklink popcorn wagon. And up to recently, this road just went off into the distance like it does on the other side over there. But now I cornered it off so the road just comes round, and this bit can be used as a street food vendor. So it can be used for other things like the burger van or the hot dog truck in the future. And it does fit, and it works perfectly there. If you come round this side, you can see there's a seating area there which can overlook the lower section. And the work I've done recently to get the street going round here and these buildings moved here is so that I can have this lower layer where I can work on a better train station, or a bigger one here, which leads into the section underneath where it has a platform. If I move one carriage along here, you can see a bit more inside. But this area isn't going to be visible really, only if you come down here. But at least I know there are two loops which can go around the whole bottom underneath the whole city, and there's going to be a track here which you can see for the Orient Express, which will just kind of go around up to a point and stop, but then I can always bring it back around and just have it in the platform whenever I want to. But this is progressing fine for now, and I'll put progressing of the station mock in another video series, but I'm liking how it is at the moment, and it can stay like that as long as it needs to. And this is where the section will be for my other mocks, which can go in and out of the city depending on the year. So there's been a park, which is what I'm working on right now, and you'll see another video with update about that. It can be the beach, it can be the harbour, or even a football stadium in the future, which is a plan I've got to go in this area. So that's why that looks a bit of a mess, but there's a plan for this in the future. And then if we come up to the top here, which you've probably seen already, this is the higher shelf, and this is much more of a residential area. And this has the Tuna Corner, which is a brilliant modular building. Parisian restaurant there, and you've got the bookshop, modular, mixed in with the pet shop. And at the end is a mock of a Creative 3-in-1 house, which I've changed quite a lot over the years, and I'm still not quite happy with that, but it's good enough for now. It's a half modular. And you've got the up house, which I would like to make a double version of, but again, it looks fine. It's never fallen off, thank goodness. And the bed in the middle of these two here is a combination of friend sets, so a cafe and beekeeper or beehive set, and it's just rammed full of, like, you know, vegetable patches, places to sit, and loads of figures. And I like that, even though it doesn't look good for the background there on the wall. I like this area that is broken up and not just having buildings along it, because if it is that residential bit, I did just want it all buildings. So that's a nice break up for any of the figures who are coming along here. And this bit here is where I'm going to have a track for the tram, which came with the botanical set over there from Friends. I'm going to have that on there soon, so all it needs is a track and detail to go on there, and it's going to be a nice little feature for this residential shelf. And that's all I have to show you for now. But thanks for watching, and I'll show you updates as we go along. See you later.